This episode of Audiobook Club begins with a rather gruesome accident.
On the final day of my sophomore year of high school, I was hit in the face with a baseball bat. As my classmate took a full swing, the bat slipped out of his hands and came flying toward me before striking me directly between the eyes. I have no memory of the moment of impact. The bat smashed into my face with such force that it crushed my nose into a distorted U shape. The collision sent the soft tissue of my brain slamming into the inside of my skull. Immediately, a wave of swelling surged throughout my head. In a fraction of a second, I had a broken nose, multiple skull fractures, and 2 shattered eye sockets.
Audiobook Club with Steve Phillips and Matthew Layton.
Well, if you're still with us after that pretty gruesome introduction, hello and welcome to Audiobook Club, the podcast about audiobooks that's full of good intentions. Now it has recovered from its festive hangover. And apologies, Matt, right off the bat, if my cold and is still hanging around there, making it sound like I really do have a hangover. But I'm still here, mind and spirit, ready to get some self-help with your help.
I think starting with such a positive attitude is well, I think it's on brand, Steve.
Many thanks. Well, I think as it's a brand new year of Audiobook Club, let's hop on that bandwagon of joining a gym for 3 weeks and never going again, despite taking out an annual subscription, and get into changing our lives forever. This week's book is Atomic Habits, Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results. It's been out for a long while, but it seems appropriate, doesn't it, to do this first week of January?
Well, I don't know about you, Steve, but I kind of dread the virtual audiobook self-help aisle a little bit. Have you ever been down that road, whether audiobook or otherwise? Have you ever done anything in that department?
I think I listened to 2 episodes of Headspace, with Mr. Puddicombe.
I'm quite good at Headspace, actually, but
yeah,
in terms of, that sort of modifies your life rather than changing. You've never done the listening to the tapes or telling yourself in the mirror how great you are.
No, it just reminds me of that Alan Partridge episode where he's lying down trying to relax, and he can't. He's relaxing to his own self-help tape, that in itself gets irritated by people's access not wiping and things. Obviously it dates it, of course, but no, not full on really.
Yeah, I've got a certain amount of dread of it. As you know, I tried the Alan Carr How to Stop Smoking book a couple of years ago. Absolutely no effect whatsoever at all. Drove me up the wall. Ended up smoking
as many a
more.
day. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 on the go.
Too stressful. You need a fag. Yeah.
I have enjoyed also Darren Brown's anti-self-help books.
Yeah.
So Happy and Happier.
Well, we have, haven't we? We've done that together, haven't we? We've done one of those. One of Darren Brown's.
But it's an anti-self-help book. It's anti all of the if you dream your dreams, they will manifest themselves. And he basically says that's a load of bullcrap. And he ends up on the side of stoicism. I think it turned out eventually. But he's also given me a healthy fear of preachers who can lay their hands on you and cure your ills, and the magic potions that don't work that are supposed to come in self-help books. So I approached this one with a bit of trepidation, I think. You?
Yeah, I think when I was reading it, I thought, I'd quite like some help now. Wouldn't mind some help. And so actually, I found this. Well, first of all, the first thing is, straight off the bat, it's only 5.5 hours long. And that's obviously that sort of thing. Oh, I can kind of get that sort of lick pretty quickly. So that's one positive about it. It's obviously quite a superficial point. But actually, as a self-help book, I always expect these things just to be. I mean, if this was an audiobook that was 10 hours long of advice, I just think, oh my goodness, it's like wading through. There'll be so many instructions and so many things to do, and then life just gets in the way. You never do it, then you get demotivated. But actually, the way he kind of broke down just changing the tiniest things about your life, so to the point that you don't even notice that you've changed them, I found quite accessible. The way he puts it across is very, very accessible, and so I actually found this really, really self-helpful. Not so you.
I mean, but there are two reasons that we were drawn to this, I think. And the first one is if you've, even been on the Audible app in the last 6 years, it tends to appear in the recommendations for your next book, or the top 10, or the top 10. And the reason we don't do a weekly chart is because it's always Harry Potter, Harry Potter, Harry Potter, Atomic Habits, Harry Potter, Harry Potter. So the Audible audiobook charts don't move that much, but this one has always been there. So I've almost given in to this one, to the constant nagging. But the second reason is because it doesn't seem to offer like really quick solutions. It does imply that you have to do a certain amount of work, and you will not have a Lamborghini next week. But if you work really hard at changing little things over a long period of time, then you might enjoy your life a little more.
Yeah, well, it sounds too much like hard work, doesn't it?
Positive New Year attitude, Steve.
We should write one. I mean, it might be a self-help book that won't make a blind bit of difference. It's kind of like the kind of ambivalent self-help back in the early 90s when Peter Cook and Chris Morris got together and did a series called Why Bother? I quite like that. I quite like that title, really. For a self-help book.
I don't think there's a get indifference. There isn't such a thing.
Keep your life basically
get jaded,
basically the same. Get at the end of every year, have that feeling, that sort of hollow feeling of underachievement. With our pamphlets. We couldn't even stretch to a book. It's a pamphlet
after year.
There we go.
Rein us back in, Steve.
Right. Okay. So as usual, we do the three things, and that won't change in 2025 because, frankly, we haven't got the motivation to do that. The author, the text of the book, and then the audiobook production and performance. This one, of course, is written by James Clear and narrated by him as well. So, and I like that he's done it. It's a good thing.
Do you know what? Funnily enough, I'm going to try and do something that is beyond my technical capability. For the first time ever, you know how when people are reading their own audiobooks, going, "Hi, this is the name of my book. I am Jeremy Paxman, written by Jeremy Paxman, read by Jeremy Paxman." In fact, more relevantly, because I heard a story about her this week. This is Heidi Hi, Heidi Ho, written by Sue Pollard, and read by Sue Pollard. Do you know what I mean? They always do that. And the first thing that he does in this audiobook is actually do it. It's the first time I've heard it done in a sensible way. He fills while trying to search his phone.
For that Sue Pollard clip.
The Sue Pollard.
I wasn't expecting that.
Well, now there's an ambition.
I was wondering how long it would be before Sue Pollard makes an appearance on this James Clear Atomic Habits episode.
I was listening to Stephen Hendry playing snooker with Barry Hearn the other night, and it was 30 seconds before Barry Hearn had threatened Stephen Hendry with violence. Right, here we go. Have a listen to this.
Atomic Habits. An easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. Tiny changes, remarkable results. This is the author, James Clear.
See, that's what he does. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because he said, basically, I'm writing it and read. Why has nobody else thought of that before?
Yeah. We never say our names at the beginning of the podcast. That's made me think of some bad housekeeping and a habit we have not got into, a good habit we've not got into. Most podcasts say, this is Steve in London. This is Matthew in London. I don't know why do people give their locations on a podcast? Do you know?
It doesn't matter, does it? Self-aggrandizement.
Yeah. It's where people say, welcome to the global headquarters of a podcast. That's right up there with friend of the show. You know what I mean?
I know exactly which podcast you're talking about.
Yes, and they really need to stop doing that. It's just,
They really do.
Yeah.
Right. Less of other people's habits. So, James Clear, the author, born 1986. He's an American writer, best known for his book Atomic Habits, which is the book what we are reading. As we heard at the beginning, he had an accident when he was 15 years old, playing baseball, basically got whacked in the face, and he had to learn to walk again. His injuries were quite horrifying. Would you like to hear how horrifying, Steve?
Yeah, I think we had a taste of it at the start, but let's really get into the gizzards, shall we? Yeah.
This is one of my favourites. This is clip 2. It's called Gore.
When I finally regained consciousness, I discovered that I had lost my ability to smell. As a test, a nurse asked me to blow my nose and sniff an apple juice box. My sense of smell returned, but to everyone's surprise, the act of blowing my nose forced air through the fractures in my eye socket and pushed my left eye outward. My eyeball bulged out of the socket, held precariously in place by my eyelid and the optic nerve attaching my eye to my brain.
I don't feel very well. Horrible,
Feeling a little bilious. So his injuries were quite serious. He had to learn to walk again. His dreams of being a baseball player went fut. And yeah, these atomic habits comes from his recovery from this terrible injury. And then he got to university, and he was not only captain of the baseball team, he was named as one of ESPN's, on their sort of virtual team of the best university baseball all-stars team. He was named on that, and he won a President's Medal, which means he was basically he was the highest academic achiever in his year at university. How does that make us feel, Steve?
Yeah, already quite inferior.
Yeah. Sometimes we are a bit English, aren't we? It's like the Americans, you go, girl.
Yeah.
But you and I going, he sounds irritating.
Yeah, we basically comment on other people trying to better themselves in a really derogatory way. That is the English way, isn't it? Yeah. Look at them, eh? Look at them doing so successfully. That'll fail.
Whereas I think I'm trying a little bit in later life to get a bit more of the sort of American positivity without overdoing it. But frankly, I wasn't irritated by that from him. I don't know. Were you?
No, not really. No, I was kind of feel like actually, I quite like some help, and so any kind of little thing I can do to sort of improve my habits. I was going to suggest if you want to, come down and play badminton or something, and make it a routine. But that's not really covered in this book. Really, he doesn't sort of say. Then I joined the gym. At no point he says I joined the gym in January and stopped going by the 16th of January.
I managed to stay sober until the 10th of January, where a particularly irritating colleague led me to drink.
Twice as many fags.
Yeah, so the book is Atomic Habits. The line that sums it up is, habits are the compound interest of self-improvement.
Yeah. That's the way I'd sum it up. Yeah, definitely.
But we knew that.
We knew that. We knew that.
Yeah.
Of course we knew that.
What's he on about? So the idea is that rather than having a wish and making your dream come true, doing the goals-led stuff, what you need to do is actually set up your life so that good habits come easily. Almost making past you trick future you into doing good things.
Regeneration.
Yeah. The idea that and if you do these things over and over again, and you make sure you meditate while the kettle is boiling.
Yeah. I don't have time to do that though. The thing is, lives are really busy, aren't they? I mean, it's and if you've got a particularly fast kettle, you've got the pressure of meditating. If it's
that's the root of all my problems.
And also if you have one of those quiet, because you can get like quiet kettles as well now that boil very quiet, don't make a big fuss. That hey, I'm boiled, everybody. You can over meditate, and then your water will get cold. Anyway, I'm getting irritated by my own derogatory statements about meditation.
Good.
Yeah.
So yes, the things we have to learn are life-altering outcomes. A handful of simple life hacks like habit stacking and the 2-minute rule, and it's all based on psychology and neuroscience, apparently. Here's his explanation of the system.
A goal-oriented mindset can create a yo-yo effect. Many runners work hard for months, but as soon as they cross the finish line, they stop training. The race is no longer there to motivate them. When all of your hard work is focused on a particular goal, what is left to push you forward after you achieve it? This is why many people find themselves reverting to their old habits after accomplishing a goal. The purpose of setting goals is to win the game. The purpose of building systems is to continue playing the game. True long-term thinking is goalless thinking. It's not about any single accomplishment. It's about the cycle of endless refinement and continuous improvement. Ultimately, it is your commitment to the process that will determine your progress.
So there. Do you know what? I didn't think this would be going this badly this quickly.
What, the podcast or the book?
Yeah.
Or changing our lives?
Yeah, both. I came into this with a positive attitude going, right, what's my conclusion going to be at the end? I think what we've got to do is say that reading this book once is not enough. You've got to commit to it. Shall we come back at the beginning of next year and do an episode and see how we've done?
Yeah.
Maybe we have to commit to the process. We also have to go.
Good idea.
Well, it was.
I think we can still do this. Maybe this time next year, January 2026, we review this book again and say, what did we do?
Well, and again, it's more than the book, isn't
Yeah.
it? It keeps referring you to a website. I wonder what the printed copy of this book is like, because there are all sorts of diagrams and forms to fill in. Where I'm getting but in the audiobook version, you get, if you want to see this, go to jamesclear.com/diagram.
You know what, though? I'm so on board with forms to fill. Now you're talking English, you know what I mean? That is the English way, filling in forms. There you go. That's it.
Yeah. It's done us well. Is there any way we can do queuing? The Atomic Habits get together in London.
Yeah.
We'll have to queue round the back of a bus stop in Harlesden.
Our American cousins say there's an app for that. We always say there's a form for that.
Oh, bureaucracy is great. Yeah, and look, again, I feel the wheels gradually falling off this New Year podcast.
That's a worry. Was it early January? I can't remember the day.
But look, so I'll rein us back in with another clip. Hold on.
How to create a good habit. The first law is make it obvious. Application 1.1, fill out the habit scorecard. Write down your current habits to become aware of them. Application 1.2, use implementation intentions by filling out the following formula. I will behavior at time in location. Application 1.3, utilize habit stacking by filling out a sentence like, after current habit, I will new habit. Design your environment by making the cues of your good habits obvious and visible.
Does the audiobook bring anything to the party, Steve?
Okay, so whereas if you read the printed book, you would have to maybe put the book down and enact on something. You can actually listen to the audiobook while you're self-helping yourself. That's not the right phraseology. You can do that, can't you? You can basically treat it like I think audiobooks work really well as cookbooks as well, you know. So as you're being explained to by Nigella or whoever you're listening to, you can be doing the action of the cooking, where rather than referring to the book, although some people might want to work that way. But I think you can do the same thing here. What do you think?
I think, you know what you heard when I played that last clip, right? This is what I heard.
How to create a good habit. The first law is make it obvious. Application 1.1, fill out the habit scorecard. Write down your current habits to become aware of
That was the teacher from Peanuts, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, of course, the teacher from Peanuts. I've never had an excuse to play that, ever. And
you're going to use that every time we do a self-help book. You're going to play that. This is one of the all-time best-selling and continues to be self-help books. And that is the level of shallowness that we are displaying in reviewing this. We think
this hasn't gone very well, Steve.
It's all gone peanuts. Yeah. Start as you mean to go on.
He pays peanuts, you get monkeys, innit?
Oh, well, yeah. I think he might be a very disappointed teacher. If James Clear was actually personally coaching us, I imagine lots of red pen all over our homework.
I tell you something. I bet we could make him give up.
Write a really depressing follow-up.
Yeah, exactly. We'd have him at home on his sofa, curled up in a ball with empty bottles of vodka all around him, watching old episodes of Friends for a month by the time he'd done an hour with us.
You know what? I mean, obviously he's a very busy man and a very successful man, but if he does ever have 5 minutes to come on and actually sort of turn us around, I reckon he could turn us around in 5 minutes by just a few motivational lines and so on. So James, if you're listening, obviously a bit of a long shot. If you are our other listener, if you're our other listener, then please save us. Because we're doing our best trying to follow your advice here, but the fact that Matt played in the Peanuts teacher clip is well, it just says it all. Really, there are no more words. Literally, no more words.
Do you know what? I've let you down. I've let Audio Book Club down, but most of all, I've let myself down. I came in here trying to be positive, but you know. You say 5.5 hours is a short amount of time, but imagine if you were, say, having eye surgery. 5.5 hours is quite a long time for that. You know.
Well, he did. Didn't he? Well, he's had some sort of surgery.
He had a month with his eyeball hanging out the front of his face. All right, let me do what I thought I was going to be doing. So he's interesting when he tells those stories, but when he's laying out the theories of what we need to do. It just sounds like a list of lists at times. And as I say, I think the audiobook is not enough. I think I might be up for, filling in some of these habit sheets and seeing if they work. I certainly need a little bit of a reboot as we head into the new year. But I think the audiobook is not enough in and of itself. I think it could work as part of a broader program if we were to engage with it. And there are weekly newsletters, there's the website, and in February 2024 Clear announced he had created a new habits app called Atoms. So I think I want to give it a go, Steve. I'll give it a go. I think I like the sound of the whole app thing. Although I do have to say, it is a modern book, because every time he talks about bad habits, there'll be lots of them, like eating ice cream, smoking, or looking at your mobile phone. So I think possibly that would be self-defeating to have the good habit app on the bad habit mobile phone, but I don't know. I think it's worth a go. And as I say, for me, it's not making any promises. It is implying that if we want our lives to be better, there's no magic solution. You have to do lots of little bits of hard work.
Should we do this together? I've downloaded the app. Here you go on screen. I'm just showing you.
Have you?
I've got on camera. Yeah, I'm just showing you. I've downloaded.
Okay.
I've just downloaded
hello.
The app.
He's downloaded the app.
You do it too. And we'll get started, and we'll see how far we get during the year, and we'll check in occasionally as part of some podcast content as to how we've done this.
All right, so
quiet week.
We are being grown up and sensible. We've vented now,
yeah.
And it seems that maybe this book has been good for us, Steve.
Yeah, so we've gone straight from Peanuts to downloading his app, and I think that is, again, actions speak louder than spoken words, and we've actually, he's turned us around.
Shall we let everybody else get on with their 2025, Steve?
I think it's probably time. Yes, that was Atomic Habits, Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results, written and narrated by James Clear. Are we saying performance or narration here, by the way?
Oh, God, definitely narration. Reading out of a list at times.
Yeah, okay. I veered towards performance because I think it did feel like quite motivational to me. I didn't mind. I quite like knowing the science behind everything rather than just getting, this is what you need to do and it'll be wonderful. But there we go. No harm in a split difference of opinion there. 5 hours and 35 minutes long, out from Penguin Audio. And that is our first book of 2025. Next week is an incredible story from the pen of Hanif Qureshi. He, the writer of My Beautiful Laundrette and Buddha of Suburbia, which is, I'm watching that when I was growing up on BBC Two. and this one's read by Art Malik. I was had a feeling I had no idea who was going to be narrating this one, but I always had a feeling it might be Art Malik. You know what I mean? Because I think he was in Buddha of Suburbia, I think, from memory. Anyway, that's 6 hours and 9 minutes long. Again, it's Penguin Audio, but it is Shattered. That is next week's book. A real J-turn in terms of content, because followers of Hanif Qureshi will see what a life he has had.
It's really interesting. That one has such, in some ways, negative subject matter. Hanif Qureshi was basically in his bathroom in his girlfriend's flat in Italy in December 2023. He had a little fall, and it left him paralyzed from the neck down. And this book it's humbling. He admits his anger, but his positivity and determination and his frankness are brilliant. I've done have you listened to it at all, Steve?
I've not yet, no. Ready to get stuck into it.
Okay, so I've done the BBC Sounds version, which is the book at bedtime version. Art Malik also reads that. It's so you get 5 14-minute episodes, which brings it in about an hour and 10 minutes. And to be honest, this is quite hard going at times. So you may only want that. So I'm going to. You can go for the BBC one if you want, but I'm going to upgrade to the full 6 hours and 9 minutes. So just some really insightful stuff there, and yeah, I mean he's handling it with some dignity, but he's not. It's just it quite affected me, actually. I'm looking forward to reviewing it next week.
Yeah, well, actually, well, maybe got quite such a departure from this week in terms of turning a lot of tragedy into positivity. Actually, while we're at it, can I bring in a couple of maybe something I want? Maybe actually, I'm sorry to do this to you on the hoof, but brand new year. What one book do you want to read this year? Do you think that you haven't read yet?
That's an interesting question. Do I go back to looking at old university stuff where I read the first chapter and the last chapter and then wrote the essay, or do I want to hear something new? I wonder if we're going to get the second of Richard Osman's We Solve Murders. That's a bit of an obvious answer. I don't know. I feel like I need, after Unruly a couple of weeks ago, I think I need a good history of Britain.
Something, yeah, Britain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah. I want some history, and I want to learn something, Steve. That's right.
Okay. Yep. Sounds good to me. I'm going to go for, this is a book that was out, I think October.
Oh, so you're allowed to pre-prepare an answer.
Oh, well,
right? You've had this.
The book
right?
I'm going to
You've got it written down on a piece of
Fine.
paper. You put me on the spot. What's this?
You know, it's live radio in the
The dice are loaded on this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the book actually inspired the segment, if you know what I mean. So the book was already there in my head, and I just thought, well, I just wanted to invite you into the tent, if that's okay, Matt, the audiobook tent. I want to read Dip My Brain in Joy, A Life with Neil Innes, the official biography by his wife, Yvonne Innes, written and read by the author. And that's because I saw a tweet yesterday from Danny Baker saying it was absolutely brilliant. And also, I tell you, actually, my quest continues to find the audiobook of Who on Earth is Tom Baker as well. But what are yours? What are yours out there? Audiobook Show on Instagram and on Blue Sky. We're also on Twitter as well, Audiobook Show. We've got a Facebook page. Let us know what you want to read in 2025. Indeed, what you are reading in 2025 so early on. Get in touch with us anytime. And we'll be sharing our thoughts and hopefully your thoughts as well on Shattered by Hanif Qureshi on next week's show. Until then, happy 2025, Matt, and good luck to both of us with our Atoms journey via the app with in-app purchases.
Yeah, whatever.
See you then. Ta-da.